Welcome into New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. We're about to get into a mailbag where I answered your guys' questions, but I want to do something new on the channel. Before we get into it, we've doubled our subscriber count within the past 3 months. So I want to do this. If you are subscribed to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports, I want you to type me in the comment section down below. If you're a sub and you're a real one, type me in the comment section right now. First question coming in from my guy, Nathaniel Alston. He says, how about Kenny Atkinson for head coach? I'm just not really ready to be talking about new head coaches. I understand the allure or why the love for Kenny Atkinson, right? What he did with those young Nets teams, he was a good coach, and now he's on the bench. But he turned down a head coaching job to stay with the Golden State Warriors this offseason. I like Kenny Atkinson. He's shown the ability to be able to develop young players. I'm just not ready to talk about a new head coach yet. I'm giving Tibbs this whole year to prove it or not. If it doesn't go bad, I would be down for Atkinson, though, to be in the hiring pool and at least get an interview going in if we do move on from Tom Thibodeau. Steven Vargas, just how committed are the Knicks to RJ Barrett?
Wow.
4 years and $107 million committed to him. They also gave him the poison pill contract, which means it's almost essentially impossible to trade him for a full calendar year. So they're pretty damn committed to him. Obviously, they did include him in a couple of trade proposals for Donovan Mitchell. So I don't say that they're joined at the hip, but I think that they're committed to RJ Barrett. They clearly like him. What's not to like about him, right? 22 years old. He's done some things only people like Luka and LeBron have. He's got a long way to go to be an elite player, but he's a damn good basketball player for a guy who just finished an NBA season at the age of 21. If I was the Knicks, I would make RJ Barrett the face of my franchise. I would get players on my team that make RJ better. I hope that's the direction this team is going. Lorenzo in the Benzo. How many roster spots left? So after the Knicks signed Daquan Jeffries to that training camp deal, they have 2 roster spots left. But I don't envision them going out and signing some of the higher profile names out there right now. They're not going to go get Carmelo. It's actually reported that they're not interested in Carmelo Anthony anymore. They're not going to go get Blake Griffin or LaMarcus Aldridge or Rajon Rondo. They're going to get young players that are cool with not playing any minutes, that have potential, and are good locker room guys, like Ryan Arcidiacono or Theo Pinson. Guys like that who I think they fill the final 2 roster spots with on this New York Knicks team. I'll ask you, though. That's just my opinion. But I'm down to always have a two-way conversation, because when I go down and read the comments section every day when I get off of work, I love seeing you guys tell me stuff about the Knicks that I don't know. You guys are smart as hell, and I value your opinion. So let me know what you would do. If you were the GM of this team, how would you fill those final 2 roster spots? Sound off down below. Atlantic Lion, my brother, what up, fam? How would we feel about a potential Bradley Beal trade, and would he accept a trade to New York? So I think Bradley Beal has a no-trade clause. He did just sign that lucrative deal. But could he have just signed the deal? And I'm not saying I've heard anything, just pure speculation here. And we've seen some players do it, right? You signed the deal to secure the bag because no other team in the NBA could have paid him more than the Washington Wizards. But maybe next year, demand a trade, force a trade. In reality, I don't think that happens. I think he's going to retire a Washington Wizard. He's had the chances to leave, and he's continued to stay. He clearly doesn't value winning in this league, and not every player does. He likes living where he lives, obviously. Probably has a family there. Probably got family friends there, and some people hate moving. And he's making almost $300 million. So I don't blame him. Go get your bag, but I'm a competitor. I want to win. I don't think Bradley Beal does. But I wouldn't even trade for him, to be honest. The time to trade for Bradley Beal was a couple of years ago, in my opinion. I think he's kind of like Anthony Davis in the sense that he's on his career trajectory is on the way down instead of the way up, but still a damn good basketball player. Just He doesn't really fit the timeline, in my opinion, to be honest. JP, when does the hot seat start for Tibbs? A month into the season, if the Knicks have a bad record, right? Like, that's how it's going to be. Knicks fans are ruthless. He was on the hot seat after they lost to the Atlanta Hawks in the playoffs as a 4 seed. So I do think if the Knicks get off to a really slow start this season, let's say 30 games in the NBA season, they're 10-20. Like, if they're that bad, is that 30 games? Yeah, 10-20 in 30 games. If they're 10 games under 500, the seat's going to warm up. Because if you're bad this year, right, it means you're going to have a high draft pick. You could potentially have 4 draft picks coming up. So do you want Tom Thibodeau being the guy that's trying to lead a rebuild with youth? I don't think that's the guy you want involved. They brought Tom Thibodeau in to compete now. What do the Knicks want to do? They want to build through the youth, and they want to compete right now. The hardest thing to do in sports. I don't agree with it, but that's what they want to do. And if they're bad this year, they're really going with the youth movement. And I could see him moving Tibbs to the front office. I don't think they ever fire him. 90s Knicks, what up, fool? He said, I do see Zion being a Knick in the future. A lot of motivation here. He wants to be a Knick. There were rumors pre-draft that he wanted to be a Knick. He was supposedly upset, rumors, on NBA draft lottery night when the New York Knicks did not win the lottery and the New Orleans Pelicans did. And honestly, he will become available at some point. Probably not this year, maybe next year, maybe the year after. I'd love to have Zion as a Knick, but I'm worried as hell about his body. I need to see him play another full season before I'm willing to push my chips into the table and give up everything we've been building since Leon Rose is here to go make his move for Zion. Another player that's been tied to the New York Knicks before is Anthony Davis. When he requested that trade from the New Orleans Pelicans, he had 2 teams on his preferred destinations. It was the Lakers and it was the Knicks. And anytime Anthony Davis rumors comes up, there's always that quote that says, an anonymous executive believes the New York Knicks would love Anthony Davis and would be a team that is willing to overpay. So because that question was Zion, and we know that there's always been rumors about AD, who would you rather have on the New York Knicks? Type 3 for AD or 1 for Zion Williamson. Big L, who are your top 3 replacement coaches to replace Tibbs? To be honest, I haven't even thought that far. I'm just not worried about that right now, to be honest. I'm worried more about this roster. I think Tibbs has this whole season, and that's why I'm not really worried about it. I haven't really put too much thought into it, Big L, to be honest with you. I think Johnny Bryant's on my short list. Why am I drawing a blank? Quinn Snyder. I think Quinn Snyder would be cool. Jay Wright. Like, can you get him? Jay Wright's always been a guy I would love the Knicks to get. Those are 3 guys. So who did I say? Jay Wright, Johnny Bryant, and I said another name too. I don't know what I said. But yeah, that other guy's name I said. I'd look at him. Michael 10, the tequila shots are hidden. We need to showcase Randle and ship him out by All-Star break. Get full value by then. If Julius is showcased and ups his trade value, Quinn Snyder was the one I said. Thanks, guys. Thank you. The real one's always helping me out. If Julius Randle plays his trade value up and there's a trade you deem as valuable, I would be in all camps to do it. But if Julius Randle gets back to that player he was in 2021, I don't want to keep him, to be honest. I'm interested to see how Julius Randle looks this year with a real point guard and Jalen Brunson. I think that pick and roll, pick and pop could be deadly. Brunson's one of the most efficient point guard pick and roll players in the NBA. I think you're going to see more of that type of offense this year, more pick and rolls, space the court out 5 wide with Hartenstein and Randle, and let Randle and Brunson operate. I think that's going to be a good success for the Knicks this year. Look, I'd love to trade Randle, but if he becomes a good player again like he was, so let's keep him, right? You don't just trade him. If it came down to it, who would be your trade target if they became available at the same time? SGA, Wiggins, or Ball? Lamelo Ball? Lamelo. Easily. I think LaMelo has the potential to be an MVP in this league. I think he's that good. I think he could average 28 points, 12 assists, and 7 rebounds one day. I think LaMelo Ball is that type of player, and it's really not all that close to me. I like Wiggins, but I think he's a 3 on a championship team. I think LaMelo could be a 1 one day. I think he's that freaking good. I like SGA, but the fact I think SGA is a 30% three-point shooter last year. Do I think that's who he is as a player? No, but I don't think he's an elite three-point shooter, and you got to make threes in this league. If you could get LaMelo and RJ, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, Jim. But yeah, I go with LaMelo, no doubt about it. Subscribe to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports, because we put out videos every single day on the latest Knicks news and rumors. When shit happens, we go live. We put out videos every day. We put out more content than any other Knicks YouTube channel out there. So subscribe, let's ride, hit that big red button. B-Dub, do you see Jericho Sims as a 12-8 with proper minutes? Yeah, Jericho Sims played 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I think he could be a 10-10 guy. I think the scoring is what probably wouldn't be as high because he doesn't create offense. He's a dunker spot guy. But I do see potential in a guy like Jericho Sims. What we saw him do in the Summer League, I don't want to be the guy that overreacts to Summer League, but just the things he did mechanically. He was pushing the ball up the court as a ball handler. His energy, his athleticism. This dude can scratch his Adam's apple on the rim. It's incredible. He's a violent jumper. He can protect the rim. He's a little undersized. He reminds me of like an off-brand version of Dwight Howard. And if you think that's stupid, Dwight Howard is one of the best defensive players of all time. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. What did I say? Pause. Yes. Pause. Last question. Beat up. Yes, I like Jericho Sims. The tequila's working. Dean Seegers. Our season went down with Rose and Randle having to handle. That rhymes. Our season went down with Rose and Randle having to handle. With legit point guards, that changes. Just add Cam to the starters and go from there. That was kind of a bar, not going to lie. I just don't think Cam Reddish should be a starter on this team. I think he's better coming off the bench. There's a lot of people in the studio right now, and I can't focus. With a legit point guard, I think Jalen Brunson will make Julius Randle better. I'm going to be honest. Is this just a statement or a question? Our season went down with Rose and Randle having to handle. If you're a real one and you made it this far in the show, drop a real one in the comments section. Where's the fireball? The tequila's too much. If you made it this far in the video, drop a real one down below.